Here we have the week 6 members only high profit strategy, trading strategy for Rocket Lab, stock ticker RKLB. So for this trade, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be looking for entry points here following the response to the earnings report that was reported most recently. This will be covered in a more in-depth way in the fundamental video, the fundamental analysis video for this stock. We will go over the recent earnings report and the broader outlook from a fundamental perspective. But here, what we're going to be doing is looking at the earnings reaction itself. This was a strong earnings report, and we did see a strong upward movement in share prices. Since that has happened, we have seen a bit of a pullback here from roughly $7.35 all the way to roughly we've hit lows below $6 per share here. Just below $6 per share. So, if we kind of drill into this chart a bit here, this most recent bounce here does look a bit weak to me. So, the advice here for this trade is going to be, if you want to just make sure that you have exposure for this stock, you could just buy on the Monday open. However, if you want to be a little bit more conservative about it, possibly wait for a little bit of a better price. I do think that we could see an additional retracement here, probably back into 605 and maybe even a little bit lower than that. This recent bounce just looks very weak in my opinion. But the overall idea here is to sort of buy the pullback from the earnings response. So here we can see that the major upside movement did occur. To buy in at these upper levels, $7.35 wouldn't have really been the best idea. So we are waiting for a bit of a pullback at this point. If you're okay scaling into the position a bit at lower levels, we could average down on the share price. If you did sort of buy in toward the Monday open. But if we do see share prices move back into roughly 605, I think that would be a little bit of a better entry point. I do think that we probably could see that given the weakness that we're seeing in this most recent bounce. So overall, you can buy at the Monday open, or you can wait for a bit more of a retracement back into 605. And then if the share price starts to move against us, continues to drop from there, what we will be doing is to buy a break of the 550 level, essentially. This level does come in roughly in line with the 61.8% fib retracement of this recent trending move higher. So if we do see ultimately another decline back into roughly 545 or so, then we can buy it again and average down the position. The third scaling in entry point that I'm looking at comes in at roughly 490. This would give us a little bit of an entry below the $5 mark, as well as allowing us to capitalize on the 78.6% fib retracement of this most recent trending move higher. So this would give us a better average price if we were to see share prices continue to fall into this area. As a protective measure, we can look to stop out the position below $4.20. So that would mean roughly putting in your stop loss right around 415 or so. If we do see a break below there, that could suggest that we would see lower prices at that point. It might not necessarily mean that we abandon the position completely, but this is just more of a protective measure in the event that we were to see some drastic sell-off in the market or something like that. At least this would allow us to sort of reposition the trade and figure out whether or not we still want to move into this stock trade if we were to see prices fall below that level. So here's how things currently stand. The overall idea here is to buy the pullback from this earnings report. We have already seen some of that. So anybody that really wants to just make sure that they have exposure to this stock could buy at the Monday open because, we could start to see share prices move higher from there. And then, it's possible that you miss the opportunity. If you want to be a little bit more conservative about it, get in at a little bit of a better entry point. You could set your buy order at roughly 605. I'm mostly basing this on the fact that we're not seeing a huge amount of strength here in this most recent bounce higher. So this does look like we could still see a bit of weakness here right into the $6 level. And then from there, we would scale into the position at 545 and then again at 490. If we see a move below 420, we would close the trade and then sort of reassess the situation to determine whether or not we want to continue, buying into this name or step aside and look for other opportunities elsewhere. So here we have the week 6 strategy update, high profit members only trading strategies, stock ticker RKLB.